Okay, welcome to the 2A bracket for Louisiana non-select playoffs. I've gone through the first round. I pre-picked some games that I didn't really feel like putting too much explanation into. Here, both these teams have put up some good point totals on the year, but East Feliciana has played slightly tougher competition, and I think that they go on and win this game. I mean, yeah, they're the traveling team, but it's not that far of a travel for one. And again, for two, I mean, kind of having an idea of what both teams have. I mean, I don't, know that I know, but I have a good idea. I'm more confident in the guys on East Feliciana's team. Okay, this one, Port Allen and DeQuincy. DeQuincy's been a bit up and down this year. Port Allen has some good athletes. They beat East Feliciana in their district. And while I've heard they're going to be dealing with some injuries in this game, I do think they win here. Now, Winfield and Delcom, neither really have, the best athletes. They have good enough athletes to kind of get by. But I think Winfield's defense does enough to win them the game at home, especially with Delcom making a decent drive up there. South Plaquemine and Welsh. Now, South Plaquemine probably, in terms of the athletes, has the better athletes, but Welsh against similar competition has held up pretty well on defense. I mean, the 13 seed in Division 4, in Hamilton Christian, they held them to 14 points. I see a similar type of game playing out here, and I think they get the win on the road. I'm going to come back to this one last because I know who I'm picking, but I think this is going to be one of the best matchups around one. Now, Franklin and Darbone Woods. Now, Darbone is another program like Lena. They've had their best season in a while. Tommy Tarp, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, has really got them playing some good football, but Franklin has this athletic quarterback, and by athletic I mean running back athletic, who just is a really good runner with the ball in his hands. They have some speed on the team, and I think they turn it into a track meet and they run Darbone off the field, basically. Now, going back to this one, St. Helena, they're gonna pretty much every time they're gonna bring the house, play cover zero, and you better be able to beat them. Kinder runs a sort of split back veer option offense, and they had been playing in the pistol for the past season and a half until about midway through the year. And then they started to go back under center, and they've been playing better toward the end of the season. And with that in mind, again, St. Helena, I actually got to see them play LCA, and they got beat pretty bad, but they've got some athletes on this team. This is no slouch of a team, and I could be wrong here. I think Kinder wins, and I think they move on to round 2. But this is the type of game that's probably going to be a touchdown either way. Now, let me see if on to round 2. Let's go first. Let's go through quick picks, and this one's not going to be a quick pick. Okay, let's see. North Caddo, they have kind of a balanced offense and their athletes are just going to be better than Port Allen's athletes, unfortunately. Let's see. Royals, they're They are a very interesting team, and in how they play. I'll explain that in when I get to this matchup. Let's see. I think Welsh's run ends here. General Trask has an excellent quarterback running back combination. They've been they have the passing game going pretty good, and their offensive coordinator runs a well coached offense. Here, Kinder's pound the ball style could give Amy some fits, but I think in the end, Amy prevails by a touchdown or two. Hodge, they've had a great season. They beat one of their biggest rivals in Cedar Creek in non-district play, but but Mangum has Mangum still has a lot of punch with a team that went to the semifinals last year, and I think they end up winning. This one's interesting. You wouldn't think a 2 versus 15 is interesting, but they played each other in the regular season. Now, they won, but the score was 47-42. Now, that being said, I'm going to pick them to win again, but if I'm wrong, I won't be that surprised. And, this game. Both teams are going to have a lot of speed. They're kind of a balanced running, throwing team. Their quarterback has an offer from, I think, Army. But I mean, at the high school level, quarterbacks who have offers from Army usually can throw a little. It's just that when they get to college, they're running triple option in practice all day, so they don't get to sharpen up their throwing skills as much. But anyway, they actually beat the number 4 seed in week 10 with their passing attack. Well, really their balanced offense, but at this level, if you can present a legitimate threat to throw, then your passing attack is a key part of your strategy to win. Thing is, though, Rose Pine's the same kind of team, and both of these teams are going to score a lot of points in this one. It's probably going to be over 40 apiece. I'm going to give the edge to the home team, and I could easily be wrong here. Now quarterfinals. Now this Manny team, East Feliciana could probably get in trouble for a half, but they pull away. Rose Pine's the first team I could see giving them some fits, but I don't think they have the defense, quite the defense to beat Manny. I think Manny, moves on. Tackett Curtis and the other guy they have playing safety that's a D1 athlete, kind of control the game. Well, I say control it enough. Now here, North Caddo is another one of these teams that, they have a balanced spread attack. Now, I said I'd mention what's so interesting about Avoyles. They run a double tight, double wing offense. They go for 2 every time, and they onside kick every time. So that's going to give them a chance in pretty much any game they play. They almost knocked off Manny in the regular season, but they also lost to this Red River team by 18 points to finish the year. Now, also between now and then, one of their the big key in their staple backs, the big 250-plus pound bruiser, got hurt and is out for the year. But that said, they have more than enough to survive. However, I think North Caddo's passing attack just overwhelms them. Well, and by overwhelm, I mean leads them to a 1-2 touchdown win. But yeah, I think it seems like their secondary is a bit of a concern, because the thing with this Manny team going ahead, if they run into someone I think can give them trouble, is if you force them to throw the ball, historically, it hasn't been good news for them. Now, scrolling down, this is another really good matchup. A meets a team no one wants to see. They were number one in the power rankings for a while before they had to forfeit a couple of games. General Trask, again, they have, an excellent backfield on offense, and they can score a lot of points. They outlasted this number 10 seed, who really is better than the 10th best team in 2A. Probably more like in terms of 2A non-select, they're borderline top 5. But going back to this game, I think it comes down to the last minute with whoever I think gets to 31st wins. And I think General Trask is the one to get to 31st and pulls out a very close win. This one could go either way, though. Here, Lauraville, once again, now they're a 2 seed. And to give context of how great of a season they've had, usually there's a couple of select schools in the district they're in that one or the other will win the district championship most years. This year, Lauraville won that district. This is a special year for them. This kind of is the year. Mangum, everyone thought that was last season, but clearly this year, they're still playing to the high level that they were previously at. This is another one where I think it comes down to the last minute, but Lauraville's skill guys have been in that situation a few times and have come through. So I'm picking them to move on. Now, this North Caddo team, they're a little more, they're not really up and downs, so much as they've beaten some good teams, but the winning of the game against the Boyles again may or may not happen. Manny, I think North Caddo's passing game gives them trouble, but Manny in the end moves on. Now, General Trask against Lauraville. This is going to be an instant classic right here. I mean, what more can I say? General Trask is unbeaten. Now, their only true test of the regular season was against Mangum, but they passed that. And if they beat A-Meet, that's another test they pass. Lauraville will have come through, a very tough bracket. Now, West St. Mary's not going to be that tough. They have some guys on. They have some speedy guys, but they're just not well coached at all. Franklin, would be the start of the tough run. Mangum, that be another tough game, and at this point they will be very battle tested, and because of that, I think Lauraville pulls out a 1 touchdown game late. Now, here's the championship game, and the funny thing is, Lauraville seems to handle teams that can pass, like General Trask or Mangum, better than someone like Manny or Franklin that's based around a power running offense. However, I also think part of Franklin kind of playing them so close is it's the district rivalry factor. It's the The coaches know what the other is going to run. Whereas if we get to this point and Lorville is playing kind of hot, I think at this point, that factor of when a team figures out how to slow down Manny's run game and force them to pass, it doesn't usually turn out good. I think that becomes a factor. Not a lot of people are going to agree with anyone but Manny being in this spot. I'm picking Lorville to win state in 2A. I may be a little biased, me being from the area, but they you know they have the passing attack to give Manny trouble, and their presence also with the backfield as runners will force the Manny defense to respect both. So I'm picking Lorville to win state in 2A. But yeah, that's your 2A non-select bracket.